Again, a very good morning to you all. It's actually 4:30 in the afternoon here in Hong Kong. But again, and also I really envy the Parisian weather now. It looks really lovely. Well, today Hong Kong is actually quite with the drizzles now, so it's a change of temperature nowadays, so it's quite foggy. So again, let me introduce myself again. So my name is Matt. I'm from the international office at the Hong Kong Baptist University. So today, we will just talk a bit more about Hong Kong in general and the Hong Kong Baptist University, of course, so that you will have a better sense of what the university has to offer. And then, of course, I'll go into details about the school life at HKBU and also some basic information on the application and the visa procedures. And we also especially highlight the topics today, especially for number 4 here, as shown on the screen. It's called the Extended Study Program. I'll just take a hint now, but I will introduce a bit more about this program that really sets us apart from what the exchange program offers by other universities than the one here at HKBU. So I'm not sure if you have prior knowledge about Hong Kong, but I'm just going to go through it very briefly. It's quite a vibrant city with countless opportunities, of course. It's actually one of the world's most competitive economies and also one of the most densely populated areas in the world as well. So currently we have a population of 7.5 million people in just around 7,000 square kilometers. So it's a very small city at the southern eastern tip of China. So Hong Kong actually covers different parts of it. So including the Hong Kong Island, Lantau Island, Kowloon Peninsula, and also we have 261 outlying islands as well. So the students usually, when they come to Hong Kong to experience the bustling city, they also have different day trip or excursions around different outlying islands and have fun, enjoy the beaches and sunshine, if you're lucky, in Hong Kong as well. So for languages, I'd say Chinese and English are the official languages in Hong Kong. And of course, English is quite widely spoken, especially in the government and legal and also in the business sector as well. But of course, in daily life, we usually speak Cantonese, which is different from Mandarin. But of course, we have been seeing or observed an increasing use of Mandarin nowadays. So again, moving on, as a metropolitan cities, Hong Kong is well known for the fast-paced life and also a mixture of Eastern and both Western cultures as well. So you pretty much walk around in the streets, you can pretty much see the architectures and also buildings that preserve the Chinese tradition as well as quite heavily influenced by the Western culture. So again, Hong Kong probably most famous for its eating, shopping, and cuisines in Hong Kong are actually also, just like the architectures and buildings, are a mixture of both Western and Chinese cultures as well. Basically, you can find different types of different styles of cuisines available. Either you've got vegetarian choices, Western choices, Asian choices. We actually according to one of the surveys, I think in one of the news articles mentioned, I think Hong Kong has the number one most restaurants in the world per capita. So you can actually see Hong Kong people are mostly lazy, I'd say. They usually don't prepare meals. It's just when they're quick and efficient, they just usually dine out. It's not that expensive dining out in Hong Kong. So we also got a range of restaurants to choose from, ranging from like Michelin stars restaurants and also with budget restaurants as well. Oh, and probably when you hear Hong Kong, what we'll say about is the bustling, the city life. But of course, it's quite iconic, of course, as shown on the screen here. But in addition to that, is Hong Kong also has another side of it. So if you're coming for just a few days as a visitor, you might probably don't have enough time to explore around that. But if you spend a semester for a few months or almost for an entire academic year, you definitely will have more opportunities to explore around. So Hong Kong is also quite well known for its beautiful geographic scenery and landscapes as well. So roughly around 70% of the land in Hong Kong are reserved as the parks, trails, and beaches and lakes as well. So apart from the city center, there are also a lot of different things to explore. You can actually hike around in different hills, walk around the reservoirs or along the ocean. Pretty much you can see the sunset or sunrise depending on which part of Hong Kong you're in. So it's definitely quite fun, and also it's one of the most favorite activities for our exchange students, I'd say. So talking a lot about Hong Kong, so what about HKBU, the Hong Kong Baptist University? So it's actually founded in 1956. So it's a university funded by the Hong Kong government. So it's also well known for its academic excellence, and also we are committed to have the whole person education as well. So HKBU is actually located in Kowloon Tong, which is the center of the city. Kowloon Tong is actually more of a high-priced residential area. So it's quite quiet, also quite well connected by the public transportations as well. So it's very easy to get around. And also near Kowloon Tong, there's another region called the Kowloon City, which is just around 15 minutes by walk, or you can take a minibus, you can actually get there within 5 minutes. So it's known for the food paradise. So it's usually, students usually go there for the traditional Chinese food. Also, they have quite a good number of Thai immigrants that stayed in the Kowloon city. So pretty much you can see, or you can find some Asian or Thai cuisines over there as well. So I'll just, it's also good to know that HKBU, the medium of instruction will be in English. But of course, there are some language courses, they might use that respective language. And some Chinese medicine courses, they are only available in Chinese, unfortunately. But all the rest of them are taught in English. So when we talk about HKBU, we do have different schools and faculties. We understand that you will be majoring in communication mostly, but as an exchange student at HKBU, we actually allow students to choose courses across different disciplines, regardless of their home majors. So even if you're communication students, you can actually take courses from business or from Chinese medicine, as there are a select few. That are taught in English. There are courses in creative arts, science, and social sciences as well. So, so you can pretty much find all the courses available offered by different faculties in school. So in arts, business, Chinese medicine, communication, of course, creative arts, science, and social sciences. So about studying at HKBU, of course, we have 2 regular semesters at HKBU, quite similar to the one you have at EVAP. So 2 main semesters. The first semesters in the fall usually starts in late August, around to early September, all the way until mid of December, including the examination. The second semester usually starts in early January, right after the New Year holidays, all the way until May. So each semester, a typical course load for exchange students would be around 4 to 6 HKBU courses, equivalent to around 12 to 18 credits. So when you transfer it back to, or translate it back to ETCS, it's roughly around 30 credits. So it's quite a normal workload for students. So we are also, this is also the recommended course load for exchange students, so that they will allow enough time to concentrate on your academics, as well as time to explore around the city as well. Yeah, like I mentioned, for the course selection, we actually open up all the courses available for our exchange students, so they don't they have a lot more choices than before. And about the accommodation, this is also a very important thing to highlight. I'd say because on-campus accommodation is actually guaranteed at HKBU. So if you choose to stay on campus, we actually have a backspace reserved for you at the undergraduate halls. Probably you will spend most, if not half the time at your dorm, I'd say. So as shown on the screen here is the picture of a typical dorm room setting at HKBU. So usually the rooms are actually double occupancy. So be expected to share the room with another roommate. I know it's quite rare in France, but yeah, but in Hong Kong or in most of the Asian cities, especially in Hong Kong, I'd say, so it usually it's a double occupancy room. And two rooms will be sharing the same bathroom. So it's a quiet unit, I'd say. It's not a communal bathroom type. So it's still okay. You have your own desk, your bookshelves, and then two single-sized beds, and also at the end of the bed is where the closets are. So it definitely is not a huge room, but definitely suitable, and the facilities will be quite comprehensive as well. So each room will be having air conditioning, which is quite essential when you come to Hong Kong, I'd say. But it's actually on pay-per-use charges, so it's not all included. So you have to do additional charges with the air conditioning. But on top of that, we do have a shared kitchen and dining area on each room. We have a common lounge. We have TV room as well, and study room, washing facilities when you do the laundry. So basically, that's it. The dorm fee is actually very reasonable at HKBU. So it's around 2,000 Hong Kong dollars. I'd say around, I don't know how to calculate or transfer it back to euro, but roughly around 200-ish euros per semester, per month, sorry. So it's definitely quite affordable, especially when you compare with the off-campus accommodation here. So we're talking about the facilities. So on top of the dormitory, we also have different facilities available for our exchange students as well. So we have the sports facilities, swimming pool, cafeteria. We also have clinics, including both Western and Chinese medicine clinics. So if you want to join and want to experience what the Chinese medicine is, so probably coming to HKBU would be definitely a very good point. It's also one point to note that the dormitory at HKBU is actually located within our campus. So actually just right next to my building, actually. If you walk from my building to the dormitory, it usually takes you less than 5 minutes. So all within reach. So other than that, we also have different mini banks on campus as library. So all of these facilities are made available for exchange students. All right, so we did talk a bit more about the cost for accommodation. So this is just a rough idea of the estimated monthly expenses and the cost of living in Hong Kong. So as I mentioned, the dorm fee is actually very reasonable at HKBU, roughly around 2,000 Hong Kong dollars per month. Of course, then additional to that, probably if you want to use air conditioning in a dorm, that will be charged differently during the summer, around 500 Hong Kong dollars. So it's not too expensive. But of course, that really depends on your actual usage. And then cost of food depends on your need or what you eat. On average, a meal at the student canteen costs around 50 Hong Kong dollars, roughly less than €8 probably. But if you're dining out, of course, it's a bit more expensive, roughly around 100 Hong Kong dollars. But of course, you can always save money by cooking yourselves in the common kitchen in the dormitory. Including other fees like entertainment, transportation, etc., roughly around 10,000 Hong Kong dollars per month. But of course, that really depends on your lifestyle. But it just gives you a brief idea of what the cost of living in Hong Kong would be. So in HKBU, we try to offer as many experience and activities for our exchange students. So we actually receive quite a big number of incoming exchange students every semester from all around the world. And throughout the semester, we have different activities like the orientation when you arrive to welcome you guys to come here. And then we will organize some Hong Kong city tours as well as different gatherings and excursions around Hong Kong as well. Probably you can see in the photos here, we actually brought a group of exchange students to go to one of the local eateries in Hong Kong. It's called the Cha Chan Tang. To make some really local delicacies with the wonton noodles. So the students actually wrap the wonton themselves, and then they have to cook the noodles and to enjoy themselves. So it's a very fun and experience, especially a culturally immersive experience as well. Yeah, just on the right hand side is probably just a trip to one of the outlying islands in Hong Kong, which they do have a very traditional Chinese temple there. We just brought the exchange students to take a look. And as I mentioned, it's actually quite famous or quite popular for our exchange students to actually go and hike around. So it's also very accessible in Hong Kong. So if you go from the dormitory or to one of the nearby walking trails, it only takes you less than 15 minutes. So we actually have a hill behind our dormitory. So most of the students actually find it quite relaxing, just go out to the dormitory and you can actually enjoy a really good scenery with just 1 or 2 hours of trekking and hiking. All right, so a bit about the application procedures. But of course, you do have to be nominated by the institution, by the home institution. So the dates in brackets are for the dates for the semester 1 students. So if you want to join us in the first semester in the fall, so you have to be nominated by the institution before May, I'd say. And then we will give you instructions on how to make an online applications. So you still have roughly around 2 weeks to complete your application. But of course, you still have to submit a lot of different documents because Hkbu will actually help you to process and to apply for your student visa with the Hong Kong Immigration Department. So it's also very important that you have to submit all the application and the supporting documents as soon as possible so that we can actually kickstart the process earlier. So for those who might want to stay on campus in our undergraduate halls, you still have to make a separate application for accommodation. So the application usually around in July. And also we will have very special procedures, especially for our exchange students. We do have course pre-registration ready for you. So the period will be roughly in July as well for semester 1 students. But if you're joining in semester 2, usually it happens in either October or in November. All right, so this is the dates for the spring semester. So the nomination will be before October, and then in mid-October, you have to submit all the online application and the supporting documents. So the application for accommodation as well as the course registration will be roughly around in November. But I have to say, if you're joining us in the semester 2, which is in the spring, usually the timeline will be quite tight. So we do encourage you guys, especially for those coming to join us in semester 2, to apply as early as possible and to submit all the documents as much as possible. So like I said, we will actually help you through the visa application procedures. So don't really worry about that. Just submit all the necessary forms and documents to us. It usually takes the Hong Kong Immigration Department roughly around 6 to 8 weeks to process the visa. Pre-COVID, I'd say it used to be much more efficient, usually within 4 weeks. But after that, I think we have seen quite a huge surge in the visa application. So that's why I think the Hong Kong Immigration Department is actually taking time to process them. So now we do hope or encourage students to submit as early as possible because we want to save time for you for the visa application, which might take up to 8 weeks. And also we do encourage students to only purchase the flight tickets after the visa is approved. So that's why, hence especially for semester 2 students, they do have to take note of that. All right, so again, this is just a recap for the important dates. So as I mentioned, it's only for 2023 and 2024, but if you're coming to join us next academic year in 2024 and 5, the dates will be quite similar. Just like I mentioned, application before mid of May or mid of October, either for fall semester or spring semester. So pretty much is all mentioned before. All right, so this is actually, I did give a hint to you at the very beginning of our presentation. So it's called the Extended Study Program. So this is the program in collaboration with one of our joint ventures and with the other campus in Zhuhai. So in collaboration with the Beijing Normal University, the HKBU is actually having another campus. It's called the United International College in Zhuhai. So in collaboration with that together with HKBU, we try to offer the extended study program. This program primarily we do offer to our HKBU students so that they will be able to have a full year or either a semester at our Zhuhai campus at UIC. But of course, we also try to make it available for our exchange students as well. So for those who might be interested to join us for a full academic year, this might be a good chance because in the first semester, you can come to join us at HKBU and stay half year in Hong Kong. And then in the spring semester, in the second semester, you actually have an option to either stay in Hong Kong at HKBU, or you can actually proceed and go to join us in the Zhuhai campus at the United International College. So with one program, 1 year, we try to offer two different experience, either half the experience in Hong Kong and the other half in Zhuhai in the Greater Bay Area in China. So for those who are joining us for full year, in addition for the exchange and the academic studies, and also we have different types of cultural elements and activities included as well. So for example, students might be able to find internship opportunities because there are also a pool of companies that will be made available for students to apply for, and also different art tech workshops, and also we have different excursion and exploration tours around the Greater Bay Area as well. And also we have different trips planning to go. So for example, we have a trip dedicated to bring students around in Xi'an and Dunhuan to actually get a taste of the ancient Silk and Road. And also we have a 1 week excursion to Saudi Arabia and Dubai as well, ready for the students participating in the extended study program. But of course, most of the exchange students who might not be able to spend one full academic year abroad, or either probably not at HKBU, we also try to include these kind of exposures and opportunities for our students who are joining us for one semester only. So that's why we have the three days exploration tour to Zhuhai, so that either for you who are only joining HKBU for one semester, over the weekend, we'll also try to organize a 3-day exploration tour so that you can actually get a taste of our campus in Zhuhai, as well as different cultural experience as well. So actually, they are practicing archery, which is also quite famous and quite well known and well practiced at UIC campus as well. So they're also trying to play some ancient instrument and musical instruments there. We have different tours to the high-tech industrial development zone in Zhuhai, and also we're also planning another trip to Shenzhen as well, near Hong Kong. So other than the explorations and trips within Hong Kong, we also try to expose you to beyond Hong Kong as well. So this is definitely one of the newer opportunities and initiatives that we have when we offer to our exchange students as well. All right, I guess we have only 5 minutes left. I'm just going to try to leave some time for questions and answers, but I'll just leave the screen here to leave us the contact information. All the information that I mentioned in the presentation, of course, will be available on our website. So pretty much you can scan the QR code or visit our website here. Or if you have any questions after the session, you can actually email us at exchange@hkbu.edu.hk. So Thank you very much again. I'll just open the floor up for questions and answers if you have any.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was really, really useful, I think, for the students. So thank you so much for your time. And of course, yeah, if there are any question, I can also answer any question if you, I don't know if some students have some specific answer about a question about IFAP. So feel free to talk. It's a good opportunity for you to talk in English as well, or you can write question in the chat if there are any question.
Yeah, I think most of the students are more comfortable typing.
Yeah, we know that, but we want them to talk,
Well, you can't force them, but sometimes.
Yeah, no, we try, but sometimes
Yeah.
we are a bit pushy, but
No, that's all we can do. To encourage.
exactly. Any question, or maybe one student, Juliette said, for me, everything was clear. Thank you. Camille said, no question on my hand. Thanks a lot. So,
Okay,
so
good
I
to
think
know.
all right, great. So I think if there are no question, well, thank you so much again for your time. Of course, we stay in touch. I hope that we will send students to your university next academic year. So students that they will have to apply, and by mid-March we will have the list of students who applied, and we will be able to nominate them for the following academic year. So we will let you know as soon as possible. And Julie said, thank you very much for all your explanation. So.
Oh no, thank you. Thank you very much for your time as well. I know it's an early morning, I say.
No worries. Well, have a nice rest of the day and see you soon. Thank you so much.
See you. Bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you very
Bye.
much. We're
Bye.
very excited to receive everyone here at Hkbu.
That's so great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.